Xin Chao. Hey, how are you? In this video today, we're going to talk about electronic motorbikes, scooters. We're going to talk about EV bikes and what I think the future is going to be. And yeah, you know, I have some wildly extreme thoughts and non-extreme thoughts at all in either direction. First and foremost, I think it's extremely, this is an opinion piece, this is not factual information. So if you're looking for like, you know, facts, articles, this is not the video for you. I'm talking off of my personal opinion of living here for the past 6 years. I do not think that they're gonna get rid of gas bikes in Saigon anytime soon. I think they're aiming for something next year. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Motorbike sales are way up in Q1 around all of Vietnam by like a huge margin. It's in all the news now. You know, it's the #1 way to get transportation. We're gonna stand here and kind of look at it. But what I do think they're gonna do is, like I said in the article I read, where they've pretty much said they're gonna get rid of it in certain areas of Hanoi and Saigon, is I think Hanoi will get rid of it in their Old Quarter and downtown section, 100%. And I think they will transfer over to an electric bike. And I think the electric bike segment will be very hot. VinFast is already kind of early on it, but I think there's going to be a huge market to get on this stuff super early and to have somebody come in and actually manufacture. What would be great is to see more Vietnamese-based manufacturing of electronic bikes, e-bikes, you know, the e-scooters. You know, there's that bike, there's VinFast on the scooter front. I think there's like 1 or 2 others, but mainly the rest is all Chinese, and I don't want anything Chinese. I'm sorry, but everything I've ever owned Chinese falls apart and it's pretty junky. I have no interest in buying more Chinese stuff. I don't need to save 20% because you're not even gonna barely save that anymore, but it always comes back. The thing that I've learned with China stuff over the years is it always comes back to haunt you. You always have to repair it early or replace it too soon to where it's, you know, the cheap price. You had to buy 3 of them when you could have just bought one good one that would have lasted for the time the 3 of them did. I am now a firm believer. I always have been. But I don't want the China EV at all. You know, this guy's driving around a VinFast one right here. All the blue teal cars are electronic bikes, but these VinFast guys are fun. They're fast, you know. That's the 200 Evo. It's a quick little bike. It's just got a really uncomfortable, cheap seat. But other than that, it's a super comfy bike. Like, I would be super interested in designing and making electronic bikes for Saigon specifically. Like, if you didn't know, the #1 selling car, which like accounts for almost all the sales per month in May, I think, I don't know, some crazy 50 to 80%, I can't remember. I'm not going to pull out the stat, but was just the VF3, just the VinFast $10,000 Cube smart car. That car is by far going to be the most dominant. If I was them, I'd run that body style for 10 years, like a Mini Cooper, and just make small, great improvements over each year. Because that body style is popular, it sells hot. You know, 10 grand, you got a car. We'll probably see one, don't worry. I'll point it out. That's one of the gas-powered ones, which they've moved into EVs on these too. But for Vietnam and for people that are like, you know, the motorbikes only take up for 15 to 20% of the pollution. Damn, she was super hot. For 15-20% of the pollution, it's, or 5 to 10%, I think people quote, or whatever it says. It's during rush hour. It creates huge things. And the bikes do create an emission. You got, you know, 450,000 bikes going at one time, you know, in rush hours. So they're going to create a ton of emissions. So it's not going to be a terribly bad thing to boil down the emissions. And for people saying the cars are the problem, we all know the cars are the problem, but they're not going to ever go in the direction of getting rid of the cars. They're going to do what every China major city did. They're going to get rid of the gas first. After the gas, they make you go to EV bike. And then once they finish the whole mass transportation system, meaning they finish like all their planned first metro lines, and they got the bus system in place that takes you from all the metro lines to wherever your neighborhoods are. So when the absolute mass transportation set up at best, they'll ban the e-bikes too. So it'll just be cars and mass transportation. If you don't believe me, just go to any top tier China city, and that's how they are already. They used to be motorbike paradises like this, 20 years ago. Not even, some places 15 years ago. And if you want documentation of this, you can go and look at, like, I used to watch this YouTuber. I don't watch him at all anymore. I used to watch him way back in the day, like when I didn't even watch YouTube. I just watched like a few people. But there's this guy that made videos on a PSP, and I was like into PSP and like on a forum for PSP stuff and all this shit. And his channel, Serpented Serpentenza, his channel. If you dig back, I don't even know if he still got it up. He's all does political shit now, but if you can go back and look at his old stuff, he'll show you kind of more motorbike China. I divulge. I'm getting off the beaten track of what the topic is, but I think EVs are definitely going to take over. People, Flinch started selling motorbikes just in Saigon and in Hanoi when they announced this. So like people are already listing their gas bikes in preparation for EV bikes, especially if they're living within the zone. So I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go on the marketplace. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to regulate that very well. I think 2025, very ambitious for Hanoi, and even 2026, ultra ambitious for here. Or 2026, I think they're both super ambitious. The timeline's a year longer here in Saigon, I think. Hanoi's pretty much like starting to happen soon, 6 months. But I don't think those timelines are really going to be met. And how are they going to clamp down on it? All the traffic driving is back to the way it used to be before they came out with the new traffic penalties. So people are driving backwards on the sidewalks. You name it, they're doing it. So nothing has really changed as far as that's concerned. It did for a while, but it's all going back. I'm going to do some motorbike vlogs, and you'll see for yourself. I still have access to the ground, so motorbike vlogs. I got to do a bunch of work to it. These oils and it doesn't get to take care of. So yeah, if you're gonna live in those zones and be in those zones and drive in those zones, especially in Hanoi, I would start to navigate into an EV. Did we see a VF3 yet? Let's keep walking until we see a VF3. That's Japanese chick's got a fine ass. W Japanese lady. Look at that thing. I think it's a fake one. I'm trying to find you a VF3. They're usually everywhere. I'm surprised they're not taxis yet. It's because you can only put like really one person in them. I think it really is because you can only put one person in them. Wow, this coffee place is really popular. It's cheese coffee. I've never seen it blown up like this. Oh, either way, you'll see a VF3 a million times on my other vlogs. Almost usually we always see one. I'm ultra surprised one hasn't gone past. All the other EV has. It's kind of funny. And then this, of course, is a one of the very, very, very popular cars here. Those Land Cruisers. That's a Lexus version, the high-end one. There's a VF5, I think. Yeah, VF5. That might be an EV VF5. I'm just seeing if we get one. It would be funny if we did. Either way, I digress. But yes, I think the EVs are going to happen. Yes, I think you'd be wise to get on them. If you're going to live in Saigon, you have a family, not getting the VF3 doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a super commutable car, super affordable. Same with going to a EV bike. I don't see the problem with that either. I think for in the cities, they're fine. As you get out of the city, you're always going to need gas, so I don't think they're ever going to outlaw. You see the tatters on here. I don't think they're ever going to outlaw gas everywhere. It's just going to be interior on the major cities. That's my final opinion on that. If you want to hear even more of my final opinions, if you want to support me in additional ways, if you're not going to watch the live streams, go on over to Patreon. It's totally free. If you want to join the conversation after it all and just talk to me, just join the Discord. That's also in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Stay frosty. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.